Hello, I think the clock is 4, so we can start. I'm going to tell you a little bit of our journey from Excel to real-time insight using Databricks, ThoughtSpot, and Power BI. In 2021, 2 years ago, I was here in San Francisco at the exact same conference and started to think, how can we build our new analytics platform? And I was all around the sessions and tried to hear how people had done it and how they do it actually. So that's why we'll share our journey and how we have done it and some of the pitfalls you can go into. So a little bit about me. I'm Thomas. I'm a head of development and data analytics in Europris. Europris is a Norwegian retailer. I will tell you a little bit about what that is and how we operate so you can relate to it. I'm mainly a developer. I came from the development industry and I've been a consultant and a developer, mainly backend and architect since the year 2000. And when I'm not doing development, I'm what you call an Iron Man. I think some of you know what it is, but we can talk about it afterwards. So, since we are in the US, I need to tell you a little bit about Europris and what that is. You can think about us as the Nordic version of Target. So we are what you call a discount variety retailer with a lot of shops all around Norway and open new shops every week. And for numbers, we have around, each day we have 150,000 customers coming into our stores. That's mainly what we do. And to get this operation working, we do import goods from Asia, mainly China. We have our own factories in China where we import goods from, and all the goods going to the main storage facility. So every container, every chip, everything go into the main storage facility. And from there, we distribute all the goods to our stores. So we sell goods in stores for around $100 million US. Maybe here, that's not so much, but in the Nordics, it's big. And we get 5,000 containers into the storage facility each day. Yeah, and to sell these kind of goods we have in the stores, we are what we call a campaign machine. So every week we need to create new campaigns, figure out what products to sell in which part of the country, to which part of the customers. So each week we actually send out a paper newspaper, or we call a leaflet, to every household in Norway. That's around 2 million leaflets that we send out. And it looks like this. Every week, the marketing team need to come up with some kind of new products to sell, and it's all based on different seasons, if it's summer, if it's Christmas, and it's something for everyone. And what's going to the first page and how to measure how the different products sell on the first page here, that's a main priority for the analytics team. So to have an operation like this, and a retailer been there for around 30 to 40 years, you get a lot of strange systems. And that's some of the challenging when building an analytics platform. We need to get all the data into our analytics platform. So we haven't done it easy for ourselves. We have a system landscape divided in 2 different sections. We have on the left here, we have all the stores. That's the store system. And on the right, we have everything happening on the wholesaler in the storage facility. And that's completely different systems. Of course, in the stores, you have all known seen the cashier machines, what we call the PUS system, where you scan your cards and scan your goods. All the stores have their own ERP system, of course. We have a campaign planning system. It's a store planning system. It's inventory, it's HR. And the store site, and the same will happen on the wholesaler. We have the ERP system there. We have the transporting system. We have warehouse management. That's the robots running around in the storage facility, going up and down. Yeah, and of course we also have web, you don't see it, but the text is over, web and app and marketing systems. For us, the main focus is the physical stores. At the internet, we sell like we do in one store, and we have 300 stores, so the internet is small. So, when I started then in Europris 2 years ago, the mandate was to build a new analytics platform. We had an outdated Microsoft platform, need to build something new. So I then get to the management and find some nice sentence to get some funding and budget and say, yeah, we are building a real-time insights, data-driven decision-making platform which you can do AI. That was the goal, and that was the selling thing to the management. And yeah, I get a response. I didn't expect the response, but the response was, nice. How does it look like in Excel? Good. And that was then we start to work. And maybe this sounds strange, but it has an explanation. And the explanation is that inside a retailer, they are not so focused on tech. Or not this retailer, maybe it started to get more and more tech in the retail, but not when we started. So we have lots of people called controllers or economists, and they like Excel sheets. So we need to be able to get those people to be happy. My mission is still to get them out of Excel, and I have some tricks to do it. But that was the main thing. How can we get them to be with us and be safe and know that Excel will still work? So to start with, we need to choose a platform and we need to get people to create the platform. And since it's limited kind of resources in a retail, you're always about margin, and execution. Things that go fast, you shall look at the margin. Then you need some developers. And we think that, okay, if we can get skilled developers that can do a lot of things, not just data engineering, but they also can maybe create a little web app here and do something else there and do different things. Then they will be happy. And it's also easy to recruit people with Python skills. That was one of the things we see when we go choose the platform. Get someone that can do many things. And then we need to do something with the controllers. We need to upskill them or reskill them to be what they call business analysts. They need to be safe and they need to do something new. So we then started to find someone that we can create as a super user or try to be forefront of the technology and try to learn something new than Excel, but still be safe. And in the future, we also want to use AI, or create some data scientists to be able to use the platform so we can not only just look what's happened yesterday, but start to think what will happen tomorrow and the day after that. So, to get this, we created a stack that looked like something like this. So if we can take all the business systems we have, get the data out of the business system and get it to land in a large data lake inside Databricks, then we could start to use new tools to present data to the business. And then, and the only reason actually, maybe it's hard to say, but we started with Power BI, and Power BI, you can connect Excel to it. So that was the key thing. If we can get Power BI inside, then you can say, hey, you can connect Excel to Power BI. We have this nice dashboard, but you can use Excel. And that's fine for KPIs and to see the whole picture. But if you need to go deeper and see what if a customer buy this product and also buy this product and start to do segmentation down on the low level of each row in each transaction, then Power BI is not the tool for you. So therefore, we started with something called ThoughtSpot that can be used to search for data for non-technical users. Remember, I have business controllers that I have upskilled to business analysts, and I don't know what SQL is. SQL is strange, Python is strange. They only want to use tools they are familiar with. And when we also start to get data into a large data lake, we can use this data as data products and share them to other systems. So for instance, if you get all the sales into our data lake, we can create different sales transactions that we can share with marketing system, for instance, and other things. So we started then, as many of you maybe have done before, to structure it in a way. And we think gold, silver, and bronze is strange names. So we wanted something cooler. So we started with something we call the pond. That's a dirty place where every data falls in. The raw data lies here. And then we have the ocean. The ocean is big and a little bit scary, so don't go and get your data there. There we have everything. There we have tables with the SCD2 version history and everything, so we can create and get data out from the ocean to create some more aggregated products, and that's what we call the pool. The pool is safe. You can play in the pool. So that's where we have connected users. Users can get in and see what's happening. So we see that, for us at least, we see that we have amount of data. We have much data in the ocean, and it's not possible to do any analytics on those data if you not are very clever and know SQL and know how to use group by or smart where clauses. So then we create aggregated tables inside the pool, and on top of that, we get the users into what we call the tribune. And that's where you can look and see and feel, and we have the semantic models of the data. So Power BI and ThoughtSpot, that's the clients of the Tribune, where you can see data. So to get this to work and set up an architecture, we created what we think was a smart architecture at least, and it looks like this. I think you need to explain this a little bit. But we have two different kind of ways into the platform. We have the streaming data. That's what's happened in the stores. If you go in a store and you buy something, you go to the cashier and he scans your goods, then it gets an event, and the event is sent to a stream. And the stream is an event hub inside Azure. The same if it's something goes in or out of the storage facility, we get an event, and it's new data coming to the stream. So every time a lorry gets some data in or a person takes something out of the storage facility, we get an event. The same for the stores. And then we have a lot of SQL servers. All on-prem servers that you don't have APIs on, that we need to get data from. So that's the batch data. For instance, our product management system or the campaign system, things like that, we need to fetch. So then they go by batch with ADF into Parquet files on the Blob store, and everything is in the pond. And then we create workflows and DLT streams, depends, DLT streams on the streaming data, workflows on the batch data, go to the ocean, and a new workflow kicks off and build the pool. The pool is the aggregated data, both for streams and workflows. And then we connect ThoughtSpot and Power BI on top of the pool. And we have connected them through SQL endpoints. And now we have heard some new announcements on the keynote, and we also started a little bit before this presentation, that it's possible to share data from the pool to the Power BI, for instance, delta sharing. And that's a little tip to all of you. If you use delta sharing, you don't need to pay Databricks. They host the server. If you use SQL endpoints, you need to pay for the SQL endpoints. But you can't use direct query. You need to import if you use delta sharing. And then you can save a little bit of money. And we also have seen that we, out of this pool, have the aggregated data. We use delta sharing to our marketing department, so they can start to do direct marketing and Facebook and Snapchat and all marketing things with their tools. And we also send data to the ordering systems, so we have automatic ordering. And recently we have done it with accounting and audit. So we can share our financial data with accounting and audit out with delta sharing. And this was when I think we started this last autumn, and it evolved and evolved. And Databricks releases new releases and new products, and we have had this running. And then you always hear about all the new features coming. They talk here about what's all the news, and when we start to use some of the things, we see that it doesn't always work the way you think it will. And that's so we have a little warning. I don't know how many of you that is working inside Databricks and inside Python and Spark and everything, but some limitations come on when you start to put things together. And the first is delta sharing. Delta sharing is great, but again, it has some limitations. Because when we use open delta sharing, it's not possible to share a streaming table. So remember, we had all the transactions from the stores going to stream out in an aggregated pool. That's streaming. You can't share it. Or you cannot share materialized views. That's not possible. So when you kick in and start to delta the live tables, and you have materialized views, you can't share them. That was a little something we saw late. And Python libs. I don't know if you have your own Python libs or do something in your code. When you introduce Unity Catalog, Python libs may be not whitelisted anymore, so we can't use them. They'll be blacklisted. And you cannot create your own UDF inside a DLT job with Unity Catalog enabled. We started with Unity Catalog off, and when we set the Unity Catalog on, things stopped to work. And that's one of them. And maybe what we have most trouble with is that you can only have delta tables as sinks. If you have a delta live table and you have Unity Catalog, you cannot write, for instance, to Event Hub. I heard they introduced that now. So it will be possible to write to Kafka, but that's not live right now. So if you have delta live tables and Unity Catalog and you need to do some of this, you need to do some tricks. And we have some tricks, and they're coming now. Yeah, and limited streaming functionality. You cannot collect on streams if you have delta live tables and Unity Catalog. You're not allowed to do aggregation. But they say they're coming soon. So for us then to create a real-time analytics platform where we can see data live, we need to do some tricks. So we have the cashier or the push machine inside each store, sending events to the Event Hub, and there we have streaming delta live tables listening to that one. What we need to do then is, since we are not allowed to send something out of the streaming delta live table, if we want to go to a live dashboard, we can't write to the delta table. We, for instance, want to send data to Power BI with REST, so we can get new data with REST live. Then we create something that listens to the change feed on the tables and put the change feed into a new Event Hub. And then it's the trick that we need to create an old-fashioned streaming workflow, not delta live table, not anything, just a workflow, listening to the Event Hub, and then do the aggregation. Select from the delta live table, create aggregated results, and put the aggregated results again onto Event Hub. I know it's a long way. And then after the Event Hub, we have a streaming job inside Azure, reading the Event Hub, and send the aggregated data to Power BI. So what we do here is that we select from the delta table, create a JSON. That's the new source of truth, that each JSON has the sales for each store right now, every minute, collecting, and this is the sales right now, This is the revenue, this is number of customers, etc. And then it sends it to Power BI. And when you do that, you can get Power BI to automatically refresh and automatically create a dashboard for you. And it can look like this. So every green, see here, is a customer. So here we can follow one store here in Norway that has 348 customers in this time span. So this is how we present real-time analytics in Power BI to our managers with some tricks to get it to work. But people also want to do some more insights, and remember, they're not SQL persons or Python persons, so we need to do something else. Here you also can see that we go for self-service for Excel people. So this is what we create. We create a dashboard inside Power BI with aggregated data. They can collect Excel to it to see it, but here we try to do it for them so they don't need to do it. And actually they like it, so they don't need to do Excel reports anymore. They can see every day, we can start to see here and see, last week, how was it now? Here is the performance of our campaigns. So this, you see the campaign page, the first page here, and you see, yeah, I know this is all in Norwegian, but it's number of units sold. That's what is present there. So we think this starts to be the Excel killer. Here this C-level or the management level can start to get their data without doing it with Excel. So, but if you then want to explore your data, I say, this is not enough. I want to understand more. I want to connect deeper to see what we can find. How can we do it then? Then we have some other tools. Remember, we have this data product we can select from. So we need to have a self-explaining solution to give, for instance, product managers insight to the sales and margin. A product manager in retail is a person responsible for a brand, for instance, or for one category of goods. And we also need to get the store managers to be able to see their own store, how they perform in different kind of KPIs. And for us, since I also said that we are a retail company, always focus on cost, then Power BI on premium per user can be very expensive, 300, 400, 500, 600 users, then you can start to calculate the price. So we need to have something that we all don't need to pay per user every time. I know we can buy a capacity, but a capacity to serve all this starts to get very large. So to get able to do self-service insights for this category manager, we have a tool called ThoughtSpot that's connected on top of our Databricks that you can search for. And what's happened when you use that ThoughtSpot is like this. I didn't dare to take demos, so they failed on the keynote, so I didn't dare. But here you can see, you can start to write keywords inside the search line up there, and it says quantity, monthly, and this is a Norwegian word, and it's candy. So this is what we call bulk candy, I think in US, and this is kilos. So you can tell Europris is a candy store. We have 233,000 kilos last 70 months of candy. So that's a starting point, and this is easy for users to do. And then you can start to get even deeper into it. Okay, let us divide it by gender. You don't know Norwegian yet, but you can. What do you think? What's the male and what's female? The yellow one is females. So the yellow ones buy a lot more candy than the men. And you also see a spark here, a very spark in March 2024. That's Easter. So women buy candy in Easter. And you can also start to go even deeper, and they can just add one more keyword, and then they can do it by age and gender. So here you can see that people in 45 to 49, and the red one is female, is buying candy. So they have a distribution of how the demography buy candy in Norway. But this is tools that for them has been impossible to do. In Excel you can't do it, it's too much rows, but here we have Databricks doing the SQL job, and this tool here just creates the SQL actually and send it to Databricks. And Databricks aggregate and send the results back. So this is two different ways we do to present data. Data behind this one is quite large and not so aggregated, but we also create aggregated data products for the business users so they don't do wrong actually. Because when we create tables and aggregated products inside Databricks, we have unit tests, we have CI, CD, we have everything on it. So we know that the data coming out is correct. And if we are in Excel on the draw level, they can create a lot of measures that's not correct. So we're actually looking forward to metrics. Metrics in Databricks can be good for us. So to create a data product, just to give you a little feeling of how a data product look like for us, an aggregated one, you can see something like it here. Maybe not so easy to see, but here we actually take all the sales lines from a store, take all the campaign definitions, and all the campaign products, the products on campaign, and which kind of price is now correct. And then everything goes in, and we create a campaign analytics product. And then they can start to get the campaign analytics product up in Power BI, and they can connect their own Excel to it and start to look at the campaign analytics without need to do joins and everything. Everything is pre-calculated, done in one go. And to be able to do more and to dive into the, more to say, the lines that I show you when you can see candy and women and female and the age distribution, we create a semantic data model. And this is just something that is on top of the Databricks. And we say that we have a shopping basket. Shopping basket is what you carry out when you go out to the store. Each shopping basket has some lines, and we have different dimension connected to it. So we actually have a star schema in the pool that we query online every time. And you can start to see, yeah, there are different dimensions on it, and we can connect more and more things to it to be able to dive deeper and deeper. Yes, so what have we learned? What have we seen when we have done this journey from Excel and old reporting to this new one? We see that if we can get highly skilled developers that want to do more than just data engineering, you can create magic. They can both work do cloud work, and they can create apps and websites and do things inside both the reporting tools and in the engineering tools. And we also get the developers to develop code from data collection to aggregated products, so they do everything. We create one team that is responsible for getting data from the ERP system or from the source system and out in what we call the pool, all the way. And if you hire developers, I don't know if you do that, but they are all very often driven by state-of-the-art technology. Give them something nice to play with, a fun product, and they will be happy. We see that aggregated tables optimized for reading. That's smart, because it takes some time to query a lot of data. Our sales transaction grow with 1 million rows per day, and we have 10 years of data, so it's quite a lot. We need to have smart aggregations to get it to work. You can have total control with CI, CD, and unit tests, so you know that the numbers you send out to the business is correct. And if you create the aggregated tables, it's minimized risk for bias by analysts. It's very easy for a data analyst or business controller, in my case, to create something very strange. They think they have the correct thing, but they're not. And we see that different tools for different people. Static reports, Power BI is excellent. It's nice UI, it's quick, it's easy to distribute, but it's just for us KPI. if you want to get dynamic insight and really go down to see what's happening, like a data scientist without SQL knowledge, you need something on top. And that's what we give them. We give them something to use if you don't know SQL at all. And we don't have today, but we are starting to get one, some data scientist, and those would be very nice to have a data scientist to work on top of our data. We hope to get there soon, but we are not that yet. So for us, the next step, what do we want to do? Now we are very, very good to look back in the mirror to see what's happening yesterday and the last week and the year before. What will happen next? And what we want to do, and we are very eager to see what Databricks come up with here, is the forecasting. Can we see what will we sell in our store tomorrow or the day after? That will be a killing point for our business, and it will be very good for me and the IT department to deliver something like that. But again, it must be correct. We cannot do something that's fairly correct, because then it's not used. Or if you say that you will sell 1,000 kilos of candy and you sell 1 million, then it's not good. And we want to start to look to characterize our customers. Can we use machine learning to see why do you stop to shop in our shops? Why have you gone away? Is it anything we can do to save you? I don't know if it's a retailer here, but you have something called RFM analytics. That's we classify each customer and you go into a category. And why did you go into a category? Can we do something to save you? That's something we are very eager to start to look at. And of course, everyone wants to have the right price. So was the price right? Should it be a bit more? Should it be a bit less? What does the competitor do? Can we do smart things here to be even better in pricing? And product recommendation. What shall we say that you should buy? That's the things that we want to be even better on. And I think we have the platform and we have the technology, but yeah, just need the time and just need to get it prioritized over all other things we need to look into. So this is what we want to do in the next, hope some months, years, I don't know. We'll see what's happened. And that was the last thing we had to show you. I'm here, so just, if you want, just come and grab me afterwards or something. And thank you for coming.